Hello and welcome to another live AM language lesson on YouTube. Thank you very much for joining. Today we are going to be looking at the subject of develop your writing skills. That's the title, and let's share that actually so more people join. Okay, so that's the title, develop your writing skills. And we're going to look at a wide range of things today. Alejandra says hi. Hello, Alejandra. Thank you very much for joining. Georgia as well. Hello and good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining today. It's a very hot day today, actually. Leondina says, hi, Richard. Hello, Leondina. Thank you very much for joining today. Yeah, it is a hot, hot day. It's hot. It's humid. It's I would say it's like the weather is almost heavy. I would say today. I think it's now entering that sort of summer period, so the weather is becoming hotter, and when it becomes hotter, I would say it becomes more tiring to do things during the day. Evelina says hello, Richard. Hello, Evelina. Paolo says hello, everyone. Good morning. Hello, Paolo. Thank you very much for joining. Okay, good. So it's lovely to see so many people here already. So yes, this is the title of today's lesson. We're going to try and develop our writing skills. What we want to look at is, in this session, we're going to try again to see how we can take some of the things we've looked at and what you might have looked at in your lessons and seeing how you can develop it. Put your ideas down on paper. Try and effectively try and explain yourself better. So that's the idea today. Irana says, hello. Hello, Irana. Thank you very much for joining. So one of the things we'll do is we'll talk about how to talk about, I think a good way of looking at it is talking about experiences and as well as interests as well, but trying to tell people what you would recommend, for example. So I think we'll jump from topic to topic today, but the idea is that we'll always try to look at a way that we can improve our writing style. And I think with this, I think one of the best things to start off with is probably today, I'm going to look at the gerund, starting your sentence with the gerund, okay? Yana says, hello, Richard. Hello, Yana. Thank you very much for joining. I hope you're doing well. Okay, cool. Good. Okay, guys, this is off to a good start. So let's say I'll go straight in. What do I mean, first of all, by this term? Okay. Oh, I forgot to click. Okay, so we've got this thing, this gerund, okay? It's basically a verb with the ing, and you use it at the start of your sentence. And it's a great way to introduce what you want to talk about in some sort of way. For instance, let's say we're going to talk about experiences, for example. So you might, the question might be, what was it like living in Malta, for example? Maybe that's the question. Well, you can start the sentence with living. Living in Malta was blah, 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 blah. And that's it. That's all it is. You take the main verb of the person's question and you start your sentence with the with the verb. Okay, so again, the question might be, what was it like to watch the game live, for example? Now, when you watch a game live, it means you're there, maybe at the football stadium, for example, or you're watching live on your television screen. So watch is the main verb. So you can say watching the game live was a fantastic experience. Maybe now the question is slightly different. I'll give you one more example, and then we'll have a question and answer session in terms of developing your writing style using this gerund. Let's say you have someone might ask, what was it like growing up where you grew up? So what was it like growing up in the UK, for example, if it's for me? I can start my sentence by saying, well, growing up in the UK was, and the rest of your sentence. In my case, it would be growing up in the UK was enjoyable, but cold. So growing up in the UK was enjoyable, but cold, for example. So that's how I can start my answer to maybe a question. And this is something you guys can do over WhatsApp, for example. Someone asks you about the food that you're cooking. I mean, let's actually, I'm going to ask you guys some questions, and let's see what you answer in the live chat. What you need to do is you just need to start your sentence with the verb ing, and you just need to pick the main verb that we are looking at. And this is a really good way of, this is a good writing technique that you can use on WhatsApp, for example. You can use it, you can use it when writing formally as well, and you can also use it when speaking. So this this type of grammar is great. It benefits your writing skills, but you can also take it and use it when speaking as well. So let's start off. I'm going to start off with a question, and let's say, yeah, what's it like learning English? What's it like learning English as a second language? Okay, here we go. Let's see what you guys answer. So at this point, I'm just going to look at how you guys answer this question. What's it like learning English as a second language? So I'll see what you guys have to say. I would say, guys, make sure you think carefully about the main verb in my question, which is learning. And then let's see what your answer is. Following this form of taking the gerund, taking the main verb, putting it at the start of your sentence, making it a gerund. It's a really good technique to add to your writing. And it saves time as well. It's very effective. So I do recommend it. Let's see what you guys say, okay? So this is the question. What's it like learning English as a second language? Okay. So I'm going to touch on a few points today. I'm going to touch a little bit on grammar. I might touch a little bit also on just ways that we can link ideas and different types of sentences together. I'll include some of the things that we've done as well, such as, I mean, this week, what have we looked at? We looked at irregular verbs, for example. We looked at the passive voice. So I'll include those in today's lesson as well, trying to bring everything together. But that's the question. What's it like learning English as a second language? Let's see what you guys say. Okay. So, So yes, when you answer this question, think carefully about the verb, the main verb that you're going to use as your gerund. So Paolo says, learning English as a second language is a little bit hard. Okay, I think in terms of what we're looking at, Paolo, that is good. Well done. I would say instead of hard, though, I would go with the word difficult. In this case, it's a little bit difficult. It's going to be the more natural word linkage that we would use with a little bit. So we could say, I mean, it's hard. Yes. It's a little hard. Sure. A little bit hard. It's not technically wrong in many ways, but the more natural link in when you start to use the word bit, it's a little bit difficult. It's a little difficult. And I would say yes. So we have to think of these slight differences here. But good sentence though, Paolo. Evelina says, I like learning English because and talking with people to different countries. Okay, close. Evelina, what you want to say is learning English, because we're going with the gerunds. So learning English is enjoyable. That's what you really want to say, because I can talk with people from other countries. So that's what you want to say there, Evelina. So take a little, have a little look, Evelina, with your sentence and the sentence I have written, and that way you can see how you can improve, change make the improvements. Okay. So don't forget, if you're going to use the gerund, the verb comes at the beginning and it has to have an ing. Leonardina says learning English as a second language is a great opportunity. Wow, Leondina, that's an excellent sentence. Well done. Good stuff. Excellent. I think this is going pretty well. Okay, let me ask you guys a slightly different question. Okay. What was it like? Okay, so what was it like traveling to Malta from your country? Let's see what you guys come up with there. Traveling is your main verb in that sentence. Alejandra says, learning English, I could have better work. Okay, so learning English, that's a good start to your sentence, Alejandra. So well done there. Learning English, okay, I see what you're going for there. It's interesting. Okay, I can see why you've gone with could. Now, I don't know if you've been taught this yet, because I don't think you learned this use of language, which I'm about to teach you at your level. But to make this better English, Alejandro, you would say learning English means I can get a better job. Okay, so means is the word that I don't know if you know the word means, but means here you're talking about what the result is. Okay, so it's a really good word to know. I don't know if you have learnt this yet, but learning English means I can get a better job, and means is the result, such as wearing glasses means I can see better. Changing my phone means I can call. So means is a really good word to add to your personal English dictionary, okay? And then you've got a good sentence, Alejandro, but good effort. Yana says, learning English is a challenge for me. Yana, that's a very good sentence. Well done. Good, we're off to a really good start here, guys. I mean, yesterday we had a very good lesson with the passive voice, and we'll introduce that into this as well, how you can combine this. So don't forget, guys, let's see what you guys can answer with my next question. What was it like traveling to Malta from your country? Some words you might want to use. I'm going to give an example. For instance, traveling to Malta from the UK was straightforward. Okay, now straightforward is a good one. It means easy. If I were to say traveling to Ecuador, for example, was a long but comfortable journey, though. Comfortable journey, comfortable flight. I mean, I flew with, I can't remember what, KLM, I think it was. They're a good airline. So traveling to Ecuador was a long but comfortable journey. So those are two ways you can probably answer that question. It depends how long your flight was. If it was a short flight, it was probably straightforward, so quite easy. But if it was a long flight, maybe you flew from Colombia, for example, then it would be a long flight, and hopefully it was a long and comfortable flight. But I'm sure some people have had a long and uncomfortable flight as well. Gabrielle says, traveling to Malta from Brazil is really exhausting. Gabrielle, thank you very much for joining the live chat, and welcome to the channel today. And that's a really good sentence. So well done. Bravo. Good stuff. Good sentence, Gabrielle. Paolo says, traveling to Malta from Brazil was not a short flight. Good sentence. Well done, guys. Okay, we're doing well here. Now, how can we link this with other language we might look at, we might be learning at the moment? Okay, let's say yesterday we looked at the passive voice, okay? I'm just going to have a little think while you guys have. I'll just think of some examples that we can use to try and link this to other language points. Georgia says traveling to Malta because it is not far from Italy. Close, Georgia, but we're missing a little bit of language there. So, for instance, traveling to Malta was quick because it's not far from Malta. So when you're missing a little bit of your sentence there, we just need a little bit more language there. So traveling to Malta was easy, was quick, was fast, was not long, because it's not far from Italy. Okay. Alejandra says, traveling to Malta from Colombia, I could discover Paris. Okay, so Alejandra, think back to what I told you. Now, there's an interesting pattern here I'm seeing. I think I can see what you're saying. So traveling to Malta from Colombia, very good. You're missing the same word, funnily enough, from the previous one, meant. So Alejandra, I think this is a word today that you can definitely add to your dictionary. So you can say traveling to Malta from Colombia meant I could discover Paris. So this was nearly a perfect sentence. You were just missing meant. Okay, so don't forget this word. Meant means the result, allowed. You were able to discover Paris. So means in the present, meant in past. Okay, means meant. You're really close, Alejandra. I like what you're doing. Oskana says, good afternoon, Richard and friends. You too, Oskana. Welcome today. Traveling, Evelina says, traveling to Italy from Ireland is my dream. Evelina, traveling to Italy from Ireland is my dream. Oh, so you're saying that you're going to take off in it. You're going to take off in Ireland and land in Italy. That's what I've understood. Okay, guys. Now, let's mix this up a little bit. How can we now develop this? Okay, so let's say, for example, what's the problem with, say, what's the problem working in the morning? Okay, let's say that's the question. What's the problem with working in the morning? Working in the morning is a problem because let's say, what's a normal problem people might have? Morning is a problem because okay. Okay, for example, here we're now mixing two things. We're mixing the gerund and we're going to mix the passive voice from yesterday. So the first bit is with the gerund. So the question is, what's the problem with working in the morning? So working is your main verb. So you start so you go in with working, okay? Because that's the subject. So working in the morning is a problem because. So far, so good. Now we introduce a passive because we aren't given enough time to get to work. Now, we have not said who is responsible for not giving us enough time to get to work, but that's your point. You are talking about the result. So your subject is working in the morning, okay, and your point, okay, or your argument for that matter is there's not enough time to get to work. Okay, so that is how we can now begin to mix some of the things. As you can see here, we're looking at irregular verbs because we're looking at the past participle, which is what we did on Tuesday. We're looking at the passive, which we did yesterday, and we're including the gerund, which is what we started off looking at today. And all this comes together and helps you to develop your writing skills, and in the process it will help you with your speaking. So I'm now going to write an incomplete sentence, and what I would like you guys to do is try and complete the sentence for me. Okay, so we'll go in with the question because I think it always helps knowing what the question is. I should say at this point, the type of writing that I'm helping you with is not necessarily formal writing. I'm helping you with everyday writing. So this is the sort of writing that can help when you are writing on WhatsApp, for example. So let's say the question is, okay, what's the problem? Yeah, let's go with the problem here. Flying on Sunday. Okay, let's say that's the case. What's the problem? Flying. What's the problem with flying on Sunday? Okay, so okay, let's see how you guys do. If you get this right, we all have to like the video because this isn't easy, but we can begin to see how all this language that we're learning individually, we can then start to bring together. And that's really important. That takes us to the next level that you want to try and get to when it comes to learning a language. You're learning a little different bits of the language. You're trying to think of how can I bring all this together. This is how you do it. These are the small little building blocks. We take 2, 3 different things in the week, and then we slowly bring them together and we start to build. So guys, let's see what your sentence is. Alejandra, flying, delayed. Okay, Alejandra has come in strong here. Let's see if everyone else agrees with Alejandra. Gabrielle also agrees with Alejandra. Okay, so that's 2 for the same answers. Do we have a third? Is there a third person that agrees? Georgia says flying on Sunday is a problem because the trains are delayed. Okay, so those are 3 of the same answers. I can tell you guys, and I know you are all of different levels. Evelina, just check your spelling with the past of delay. Just check your spelling. I think there's a typo there. Leondina, yes, well done. Okay, guys, this is brilliant. Like the video for yourself, guys. This is fantastic. Flying on Sunday is a problem because the trains... interesting. Interesting, interesting. I'll go back to that one, Paolo. Yana. Okay, so we have to think back to the question, Paolo. The question is, what is the problem? So is means it's the present. So the question is related to the present, not the past. Okay. So if the question was, what was the problem? Then you can use was in this case, but actually it would have to be were because it's the plural. But in this case, it's definitely talking about the present. But guys, like the video because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of you have successfully got this 100% correct. And I know that you're all of different levels. I know we have someone here who is elementary, I think. And I know we have some people as high as up intermediate. So you've all done really, really well. And some of you have done very well considering your level. So good stuff here, guys. But as you can see, let's go again. Let's go with another example and let's see if we can get 2 out of 2. And then I'm going to leave it to you guys to try and answer some questions that we can ask. But I'm really impressed. This is not easy stuff. Let's try again. So again, we need the question. What was it like? Okay, so this is the question. What was it like studying at school? Actually, let's change one aspect of that question. I'm going to include your school. Okay, what was it like studying at your school? Okay, let's say the context is your school when you were a child. Okay, so okay, let's go with this. This could be interesting. So, okay, here we go. Let's see, guys. Let's see how you guys do. This is it'll be interesting to see how you guys do. Can you get 2 out of 2? It's a bit of a longer sentence. Okay, you need to think about study, help. You need to think about your B's. Don't forget, guys, as well, you need to think very carefully if the verb to be needs to be singular or plural. So take your time. And let's see if you can identify, so spot if the sentence needs to be in the singular or plural. So is it is or are, or if it's the past, and look at the question to know if you're talking about the past, then you need to decide between was and were. Okay, so make sure you read the question carefully. Gaetano, hello Gaetano, says studying, was, were, helped. Okay, thank you very much, Gaetano. Thank you for coming in. Let's see if people agree with you. You might very well be right. Georgia says studying at school was difficult because we were always helped. Ooh, now this is a now I'm seeing something here, guys. Read really carefully. We've got the adjective difficult, okay? So we need to think if this is a positive or negative. So far, all of you are like 90%. But we need to think very carefully about our second verb to be because of the word difficult. Should this be positive or negative? Positive or negative? And don't forget, guys, the question is with what was, which is the past. So make sure you check your verb to be. We're not going to jump and change between tenses in this case. Yana says studying at school is difficult because we are not always helped. Okay, if the question was in the present, Yana, this would be 100%, but the question is in the past. So you just need to change your answer to the past, and then you would be correct. So Evelyn says studying was, yes, again, we need to think about this the third one, okay? Is it were or weren't? Were or weren't? We need to think about the word difficult. If it was difficult, would I say we weren't always helped or we were always helped? If you are helped, does it make it easier? So we need to think about the adjective there. Georgia has changed it to wasn't difficult. Okay, if it wasn't difficult, that could change a lot. LVS, studying were helped. Studying at school, Paolo says, studying at school were okay. Studying weren't. Well done, Gabrielle. Our studying were helped. Okay, guys, you're all really close, okay? There you got, I think, okay, I can only see one or two of you who have got this 100% correct. You all got little bits correct. So the answer was studying at school was difficult because we weren't always helped. Now, guys, why is it weren't? First of all, we know it's the past because of the question. Two, we've got the word difficult. We're saying this is a negative. If it were studying at school was easy because we were helped, we were always helped, then that would make sense. Then we can use the positive. But we've got the negative adjective difficult. So we need to think carefully about that because the adjective will change our verb to be. Let's go again, guys. Let's see if we can get the next one right. Question again. Okay. Difficult. Okay, right. Let's give this a bit of context. Okay, so this is the question. Is it difficult working in a restaurant? Notice this is now with is. So that will already tell you if we're talking in the past or present. So, okay, let's see. So, okay, let's see how you guys do. Think really carefully. Think carefully about the verbs, especially the verbs to be. We have to think about the verb to be. We need to think about our past participle, and we need to think about the gerund as well. We're linking all three things together to try and say a little bit more. The question is it difficult working in a restaurant? This is our answer. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 blanks that we need to fill. Let's see how you guys do. We've got to think carefully as well. Should this be is or isn't, are or aren't, was, wasn't, were, weren't? We need to think about the question. Is it in the present or is it in the past? We need to look carefully at the adjectives because the adjectives are going to give us an idea. Now, Georgia says, working in a restaurant was hard because we were worked hard. Okay, Georgia, I like your sentence. Just take a look at the question. If the question is in the present or the past, grammatically, you are correct with one of those answers, of course. But just check the tense. Just check the tense. But grammatically, what you have written is good. Irina says, work in a restaurant. Ooh, careful about that first word there, Irina. Work in a restaurant is hard because we are working hard by management. Okay, Irina, take a little look. Were you here with us at the beginning? Because if you were not with us at the beginning, then this might be a little bit difficult because we've been looking at something. Yes, okay, so Irina, have a little look. We need to think carefully about the verb to the gerund at the beginning. And we're trying to create the passive as well. So have a little think about that. Working was, were working. Ooh, close, Alejandra. About 50% there, 50-50. LVS.com says, working in a restaurant was hard because we were working hard by management. Okay, guys, you need to change this into a passive, not a past continuous. You will not get it. This isn't going to work if it's a continuous, okay? And don't forget, the question is. So this is going to be in the present. Gabrielle says, working in a restaurant is hard because we are. Oh, you are so close, Gabrielle. Just have a rethink about your verb, okay? Don't forget, you're making a passive. We need the third form of the verb for work in this case. Paolo says, working in a restaurant isn't hard work because we were worked hard by. You're quite close there, Paolo, but unfortunately, you've got the verb to be's. You need to think about your verb to be's because, first of all, you're going from present to past, which we cannot do in this case, and you're changing it from positive to negative. So there's a confusion in the meaning there. Leondina says, working in a restaurant is not difficult because we are worked hard. Again, you're so close, guys. You need to think about the context of the verb, okay? Gabrielle says, working in a restaurant is difficult because we are worked hard. Yes. So, Gabrielle, well done there. Okay, guys, we'll go again. This is a difficult one. In the end, Gabrielle was able to get it right. Let's go again, though. This is not an easy. Some of you got really, really close, though. You're all doing a very good job. We just need to think very carefully about our verb to be's. I can see here the main problem is our verb to be. So let's have a little look at this, okay? So let me explain, because if I explain, maybe that will help a little bit more, because I can see here that trying to get the gerund is working quite well, but it's the verb to be's that is proving to be a little bit difficult. So working in a restaurant is hard because we are worked hard by management. Okay, so why? Working in a restaurant. This is one restaurant, so this is. So working in a restaurant is hard. Now, why is it hard and not isn't hard? Because of the next part of the sentence. Because we are worked hard by management. Now, we have to be consistent. If it is hard, then you have to go with are. So working in a restaurant is hard work because we are worked hard by management. You will see that there is consistency with the verb to be. Is are, not the negative. Now, if we change the first one to a negative, then we have to change the next one to a negative as well. So working in a restaurant isn't hard work because we aren't worked hard by management. See the consistency. If I put negative in my first verb to be, I need to think, oh, if my verb to be here is negative, then my second verb to be also needs to be negative in order to be consistent. So we need to think about that, guys. Oskana says, working in a restaurant was hard work because we are foreigners and were hard management. Ooh, you're close. You're getting close, Oskana. And you were worked hard. You're just missing the verb there. Okay, let's go again. Okay, we're getting better, but I can see here that the verb to be is probably the thing that's causing us most problems. So let's try. Um, so this is a question. Is it difficult cooking for your family? Um, hmm. Is a I'm going to have to change this. Sorry, one moment. I'll be with you guys. I just need to think of this verb that I'm thinking of. Okay, right. I think I have my sentence here. Sorry about that. I took a little bit longer than usual. I was just trying to think of this, the end part of the sentence. Okay, so let's go. Let's try this. Alejandro says, cooking for my family is very easy because they eaten something. You're close. You're close. You're close there, Alejandra. You just need to think about the end bit, and this can help you, okay? So let's see what you guys make of this. By the way, you've got bother. Okay, this might be a new word to you. For instance, you are bothering me, meaning you are annoying me. If I say you aren't bothering me, it means you are not annoying me. It is also a regular verb. So have a think about that, guys. Okay, have a little think. What's the answer to this sentence? Okay, now you've got a little you've got a choice. You can make this positive or negative, but if you make it positive, be consistent with your verb to be's. If you make it negative, be consistent with your verb to be's. Okay? So, Gabrielle, cooking for my family is difficult because they aren't bothered. Okay, Gabrielle, think of consistency here. Is, are, isn't, aren't. Okay, so if you start off negative, you need to be consistent. Alejandra, cooking for my family is difficult because they are bothered by what I cook. Alejandra, well done. Excellent sentence. You were consistent with your verb to be. Is, are, isn't, is, aren't. Okay. Yana, cooking is yes, are, bothered. Well done, Yana. Leonardo says cooking, yes, is not, yes, are not, bothered. Good, consistent again. Irina says cooking for my family is difficult because they are bothered by what I cook. Good. Georgia says cooking. Okay, Georgia, think about the consistency. If you go with is, you need to go with are for the consistency. If you go with aren't, then it has to be isn't. Oscana says, cooking for my family wasn't difficult because I love they. You would say because I love them. Because I love them. Okay. Gaetano says, cooking for my family is difficult because they are bothered. Well done. LVS Com says, cooking for my family is difficult because they are bothered by what I cook. Excellent. Okay, guys, really well done. Really well done. You're getting really close. Paolo says, cooking for my family is difficult because they are bothered. Yes. Now, if your family are bothered by what you cook, it means they are choosy, basically. They might be difficult to cook for. Maybe they don't like vegetables, for example. Maybe they don't like this, they don't like that. They all want something slightly different, okay? So some people can be difficult to cook for because they are very choosy by what they eat. But this, guys, really well done, okay? So we've looked at the gerund, we've looked at the verb to be, we've looked at the past participle. If there's anything that I can see that you guys need to really think of going forward, okay, in your writing and your speaking is think really carefully about the meaning of your sentence and how your verb to be, if it's negative or positive, changes that. So have a little go. A good idea, now this cannot always be the case because it depends on your context, but in a context like this, with the examples, if you write is, then the next bit has to be are. Is, are. Okay? If you're writing in the negative, isn't, then it has to be aren't. So if your verb to be is positive to begin with, think very carefully. If the context is similar to what we have been writing here, then it also has to be negative. So negative, negative, positive, positive. That is a very good rule to follow because a lot of the time it works. It doesn't always work because our context changes sometimes. But in the examples like this is a really good, these are good examples to follow. So guys, thank you so much for joining today. I think everyone has done very well. This is not an easy thing to do. We're taking 3 different grammar points, putting them together, and now trying to produce some very good English. So well done to everyone. Thank you to everyone who has written in the live chat section. I think all of you, by the way, have done very well today. So really good, and thank you for interacting. Those of you who are watching at home, well done. Thank you very much for watching. And for those of you who have liked the video, thank you for liking it. Make sure you do like the video and share as well. And if you haven't, subscribe to the channel as well. You're welcome, LVS.com. Thank you very much. You too, have a good evening. You too, Georgia, have a good evening as well. I will be back tomorrow, guys, at 4 p.m. Same time, every day, 4 o'clock in the afternoon with a cup of tea, because I'm English. You too, Paolo. Thank you very much. Have a great evening. Bye for now. Thank you very much, everyone. I can see you all writing in the comments section. And to all of you who are saying thank you very much. Bye for now. Have a nice evening.